I have noticed a lot of productivity and time management videos popping up in my feed in September, so I wanted to make one specifically for therapists in private practice. For you, it can be a little bit more difficult to implement some of the strategies that I'm seeing in my feed because you have the majority of your day face-to-face with clients, either in person or online. So I wanted to tailor this video for you to help you manage your time better. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kim. I help therapists in private practice get online, get confident with admin and reduce tech overwhelm. So let's talk about time management techniques. The first one I use religiously is called time blocking. And basically what time blocking is just blocking out chunks of time for specific activities. So for you, this could be client sessions, it could be admin work, it could be invoicing, it could be reading emails, things like that. And the benefit of this is rather than context switching, so switching between things really quickly and maybe looking at emails in the 10 minutes before you have your session, can really create a chaotic work environment. It means you won't get your best work done because you're always thinking about something else. So maybe you're in one app looking at something, or you're online with a client and then you're in your inbox and then you're looking at invoicing, seeing if a client has paid. All these kind of things add up. I mean, it's really hard for you to focus on any one thing at any one time. This really is my number one tip and the number one reason I get so much done in a day, because I focus on one thing at a time, yet I know that everything in my day has a time that it will get done. So I'm not worried about looking in my inbox because I know that I've got time planned for that. I have a video called something like the perfect week video. I have adapted the way that I time block nowadays. I used to do it in weeks, so each week would kind of look the same, and I've now expanded that to be a month based on things like my cycle, but also just because I do things regularly on a monthly basis. So rather than having like slashes in all of my little time blocks, which can get quite confusing, I now separate that out so that there's a specific week where I might do accounts, or I might do invoicing for clients, or I might see my team members. So that's why I've adapted it to a 4 weekly schedule instead of a 1 weekly schedule. And if you're interested in how I've done that, I could make a video on that. Just let me know in the comments. But the original video I have made all about time blocking is still really relevant, so I will link that here as well. One of the things you as a therapist in private practice can do is get your clients on a regular weekly or bi-weekly schedule. This will really help in so many ways. But in productivity wise, you'll be able to know exactly when you're seeing clients and when you're not, so that you can plan your schedule week by week and month by month. And again, I do have a video all about how to do that and the benefits of that, and I'll link that as well. So the next step in time blocking and time management is around my Google Calendar. Now this will obviously work with any type of calendar as long as it's online, but basically what it means is I'm plugging in what I'm going to be doing into an online calendar so that I can get reminders and I have something I can easily look at on my desktop all the time. It syncs with my phone and I'll get a notification to say in half an hour, this is what you're going to be working on. So that can really help keep me on track and make me feel secure that I know that everything I need to do is planned out in a chunk of time and I'm going to be reminded about it. And this can work for you as therapists in private practice because you can add your sessions in there, you can invite your clients to that session, and you can send automated reminders about those sessions as well. So having Google Calendar or another online calendar can really help you to be productive and save you time on things like inviting clients to sessions and things like that. And I also have a video on Google Calendar and how you can set this up for client sessions and send out automated reminders. So I'll link that as well. But if it's not in my diary, it is not happening. It's all well and good time blocking on a spreadsheet, which is what I do each kind of quarter. But if it's not in my diary, I'm not going to do it because that is really just an overview. And then I need to get super clear on what I'm doing each day. So if I've got an admin block, I'm going to put on Google Calendar exactly what I'm doing in that admin block. So I'm not wasting time thinking about what needs to be done. So what I will do on a Sunday night, or you could do this on a Monday morning or whenever suits you, is go through your Google Calendar and your to-do list and fill in exactly what you're going to do. And that will save you so much time. The next section is on delegation and efficiency. So the first thing in this is hiring help. Now, this can be for your personal life or it could be for your practice. So for your personal life, maybe you could get a cleaner, because a cleaner is going to cost less than you are charging for your sessions. So if you're having to book out time each day or each week to do some cleaning, you could be earning more money seeing an extra client, which will more than cover the cleaning cost. You can outsource other things like your grocery shopping by doing that online and getting it delivered to your house, or using a meal delivery service like HelloFresh, which will definitely save you time on cooking. For your practice, you can get a virtual assistant to help you out with loads of things that you are doing in your private practice that don't need to be done by you. And I've got loads of videos on my channel about working with virtual assistants, but one that I think that will really help you here is looking at the 8 tasks that you can outsource to a virtual assistant. It's going to give you a really good starting point to work out what you can give away really easily to somebody else. So this can be things like client onboarding or client communication, invoicing, medical insurance, scheduling, and loads more. Again, a virtual assistant is going to charge you less than you are charging working and seeing clients. So again, you could hire a virtual assistant for the month and probably take on one more client to cover that cost if that's something you need to do. Otherwise, you can just get all that stuff off your plate so that you can work on the things that only you can do. You may also think that you need to hire someone for the exact same amount of time that you spend on your admin, but you'll probably find when you work with a professional virtual assistant, they'll actually be able to do the work much quicker than you. So you may spend 12 hours a week on admin, but you might find that a virtual assistant only needs 6 or 8. So you'll save more money and time than you think. On the flip side of that, rather than hiring help, you can also implement systems into your practice to help you be more productive. So I've already talked about Google Calendar, and if you expand that and use Google Workspace, there's loads of things that you can do there that can help you, such as using Gmail and all of the additional features that Gmail has compared to some other email providers. You can also use the Drive, Google Forms, so that you can easily send paperwork to clients so they can complete them online and you're not having to physically give them to them and type things up all the time. So that can be a great time saver too. You can also look at getting a good bank so that you have an app on your phone where you can do all your banking, so you're not having to log on to a desktop to check if people have paid. If you use someone like Starling, you get notifications every time a payment comes in and every time a payment goes out, so it can really help you manage your cash flow much easier and means that you have to log on to your bank less often. Of course, you can get an EHR like Power Diary, which can do loads of the administration for you that you are probably spending loads of time on. And again, I've got tons of videos all about Power Diary and how that can help you in your practice. And finally, you can use an invoicing platform so that you can do your invoicing much quicker and also manage that whole process a lot easier than just not sending an invoice out or having to manually create them. The third section is on popular productivity strategies. So I read 2 books last year that completely changed the way that I am productive in my business. So the first book I read was Atomic Habits by James Clear. And the thing that really stood out to me about that was habit stacking. So habit stacking is when you put a new habit that you want to have in your life with a habit that you already have established in your life. So some examples of this for me are when I have a bath, I read a book. So I used to have a bath and watch YouTube or something like that. I've now swapped that out, and what I do is I read in the bath. So the book is just outside the bathroom, so I have to walk past it to get to the bathroom, and it reminds me that I want to read. So that makes me read more than I would do usually, because otherwise I just wouldn't do it. The second habit is that I want to make sure the washing is put on in the morning so that at lunchtime I can get it out the washing machine and hang it up. So when I put the kettle on, I then load the dishwasher while the water's boiling. And when I've had lunch, I then get to the washing out and hang it up. So I basically pair making a cup of tea and having lunch with getting the washing out. And it means that I'm doing the washing every single day and my laundry doesn't pile up, because with 2 kids and a husband who works and then goes to the gym, it can really pile up quickly. And the second book that I read that really did change the way that I do everything in business really is The 12-Week Year. And I did make a video on that summarizes the book, but I would really recommend you getting the book, because there's so much more in there that you can put in a video that's going to keep people watching. And basically the premise of the book is get more done in 12 weeks than you would usually do in a year, and they've got lots of steps of how that works. But for me, the things that I have taken away from the book is to only set 1 to 3 goals for the 12 weeks, and you want to make them SMART. So I'll put on the screen what a SMART goal is. So for example, my goal was to get 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. But I can't control that. I can't control who subscribes to my channel. As a side note, please subscribe to my channel. That would really help me. But what I can control is how many videos I put on the platform. So my goal was to make sure I made 1 YouTube video every single week. And that is what I've done. I can't control how many people subscribe, but I can control what I can do. So I can put out 1 video a week. I can email everybody in my mailing list to let them know that it's there. And I can ask people to subscribe to my channel, which may help that goal get realized. Setting the goal for 12 weeks creates urgency and also focus. And it doesn't mean it's like way off in the future, so it's something that you're not thinking about on a daily basis. It's making weekly tasks that go along with that goal to make that goal realized, and having daily actions that you can take so you can make sure that you are reaching that goal. And this all links into the time blocking and the Google Calendar and how I manage my time. So I make sure that I have buffer blocks every day so that I can have time for my admin, making sure that I'm looking in my inboxes. So I have my own inbox, but then I also have my clients' inboxes. So I want to make sure I'm in them every single day. So I have a time block for that. So I know on a Monday, I do YouTube. So whether I'm filming or researching or whatever it is that I'm doing for YouTube, I know that I also have that buffer block where I can check in with the inboxes as well. So I'm not sitting here recording a video and thinking, oh God, I really need to check X's inbox to make sure I'm not missing anything. I can completely focus on what I'm doing and know at 1:30 I'm going to go and look in the inboxes. I also plan out a strategic block as well, so that I have a good 3 hours a week where I'm working on achieving that goal. So I have a couple of those because my goals are to create courses and to create these YouTube videos. So I have blocks to do the YouTube, but then I also have a big block to work on my course as well. So for you, you might have a goal of getting more clients into your practice. So you would have a block for your marketing. You might have a blog to reach out and network to other therapists or psychologists or psychiatrists. You might want to blog so that you can attract people to your website. So you have a time block to do that. So that's how you can work the 12-week year into your business. And the final section is how you can maintain focus and avoid burnout. I know for you as a therapist in private practice, burnout can be a real regular occurrence. And it's really important to plan in self-care for yourself so that doesn't happen. So there are 2 ways that you can do this. First of all is planning in some me time, some you time. Planning in time to go for a walk or to meditate, have lunch with a friend, or have a massage. Something that you really enjoy doing that gets you out and about, that gets you some fresh air, that gets you away from work. You can't just work all the time. You can't be working on your business all the time. You can't be seeing clients all the time. You have to plan in some of that time so that you don't burn out and that you can be more productive. The second way is to have boundaries around your time. And this can work with your clients, like setting rules of when and how they can communicate with you. So outside of sessions, you may only want them to email you, and you'll be really clear that you will only get back to them between the hours of 8 and 4 or something like that. And you really stick into that as well. So you're not checking your emails at night or first thing in the morning. It's having timeframes around when people can reschedule with you so that they're not letting you down at the last minute and you are losing money because you haven't put in a cancellation policy so that you can make sure that you're earning enough money. It's also not booking people in when you don't want to work. If you do not want to work evenings or mornings or weekends and somebody needs to reschedule a session with you, but you know you've got Wednesday morning free, you don't just book them in for that even though you don't want to work that morning, because that can just build resentment and make you feel really rubbish for the rest of the day. So you want to make sure that you have specific time blocks when you'll see clients. And if you have a spare one, you can offer that to the client. And if not, then they'll have to miss their session and have another one next week. Whether they have to pay for that cancellation or not, it's not your responsibility to find another session time for them just because you might happen to be free, even though you don't want to work at that time. So they are the ways that I have found really work for me in being productive and how I feel it can help you as a therapist in private practice. If you have other ways that you find really help you be productive, please leave that in the comments. I always love to look at new things. If you have book recommendations or anything like that, I'd love to see your comments, and I'm sure other therapists in private practice would also love to learn more about this. If you enjoyed this video, the next video you should watch is all about the perfect week and how I do time blocking. As I said, I have kind of updated that. So if you want a newer version of that, I will be glad to make it for you if enough people want it. For now, thanks so much for watching.